Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us today on our part 4 of our full day of stock. So, of course, what we're going to be going through in our last webinar, we are going to be going through some of my professional sort of professional stock tips and tricks, and also we are going to be looking at a couple of stock reports. Okay, so basically, what we're going to be going through here is I appreciate some of you may have been on my first, second, and third webinars. And this kind of brings it all together. This goes through professional stock reporting, everything along those lines. Okay, so again, I apologize if you were on one of my previous webinars and we have already gone through the little bit of initial housekeeping. But just to let you know, the duration of this last webinar will be approximately 35 minutes. Of course, my microphone has been switched on, whereas everyone else has automatically been muted. So unfortunately, please don't try and talk to me during the webinar, but of course, feel free to drop me some messages, comments, Q&A, anything like that. And of course, your speakers must be turned up nice and loud so you can hear me. So just make sure we've got that all done just before we get started. And of course, if you do want to take notes or anything like that, you can do. But the sessions are always recorded and posted on YouTube into the next couple of days. Now, just to let you know, this morning's webinars have already been posted onto YouTube. Okay, so if you want to go onto our YouTube channel, you should be able to find those there in case you want to cross-reference anything or just simply refer back to anything. Okay, so in this session, we will be covering your professional stock use tips and tricks. We've got some fantastic sort of sneaky tips and tricks that we can show you, as well as some essential stock reports. Okay, so again, we are always going to have one of my sort of famous live demonstrations, so please don't worry. But again, I'm just going to run through just a few slides, just to sort of get us going, just to give it a bit of a heads up, a bit of a foot in the door, so to speak. So one of the best tips and tricks we can have is all to do with professional stock. Now, if you can imagine, if you were on my previous webinar an hour or two ago, when we were talking about stock taking, okay? Now, if you can imagine, every time you use one of your professional stock products, your color tubes, your backwash shampoos, all of that kind of stuff, as you can imagine, your stock levels are going to be instantly out of date, okay? So we have a very quick tip to show you how to basically manage all of your professional stock. And this is all done via your point of sale screen. And we can see that just here on the right hand side. So then what we're going to do is we're going to click onto our clients. Okay, now this is the all important bit. We must click clients in the top left hand corner for this to work. Okay, so we're going to click onto clients. And we're going to choose the client called not Z Business, hashtag business. I do apologize. It's hashtag business. And this can always be found in the top left-hand corner. So what we're looking for is the client called hashtag business. And of course, you can search for that particular client as well. Okay, then from here on out, all we're going to do is we're going to simply scan the products. Okay. Now, you may be thinking, how do I scan the products? Where have these products come from? Okay, and we're going to talk about that in just a few moments. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you, but we are going to talk about that in just a few moments. So we are going to scan out our professional products. These could be the backwash shampoos, conditioners, nail varnishes, wax pot lids, tissue boxes, color tubes, anything like that. So we're going to scan them out. Okay, and then you'll see we've got a list of all of these professional products there that, of course, we have scanned out. And then what we're going to do, just like a normal sale, we're simply going to click the end sale button in the bottom right-hand corner. And what that will do, as soon as we click those end sale buttons in the bottom right-hand corner, that will remove all of those products we just scanned off of our current stock levels. Okay. Now, the two reports we're going to be looking at, we are going to go into these into a little bit more depth. The two reports we're going to be looking at, my two favorite stock reports, are professional stock usage and stock control report. Okay. Now, professional stock usage. Okay. Now, what that does is that shows you a list of all of the products that have been scanned out to that hashtag business client that we literally just went through. And our stock control report will show you the value on hand of all of your retail products, which is absolutely fantastic for end of year, end of quarter, and of course for our accountants. Perfect. So If everyone is ready, we can now move to our live demonstration. We're going to run through all of that in, of course, a live demo scenario, and I'm going to give you some much more in-depth and some more insights as we go along. Okay, so exactly the same as before. We're going to open up our Shortcuts Fusion system. So one of my Shortcuts top tips for taking care and managing all of your professional stock. Now, some of you may already do this, some of you may not, but what I would recommend you do is get yourself a nice big household bin, you know, the kind they sell in any supermarket, anything along those lines. Get yourself a nice big household bin, okay? And then what we're going to do, we're going to pop it down in the color area. We're going to pop it in the beauty area, in the treatment rooms, anything like that, okay? And now we're not going to throw rubbish into this bin. It's purely going to be for professional stock. Now, by that, I mean it could be your color tubes, it can be your backwash shampoos, it can be your nail varnishes, wax pot lids, anything like that. Anything that is used professionally, okay? And once we've mixed up that color tube, we're going to take the cardboard tube, you know, with the barcode and the color number on it. We're going to take that cardboard tube and we're going to pop it in this household bin, okay? And we're going to do this throughout the week, okay? Like I said, it can be your backwash shampoos, conditioners, wax pot lids, tissue boxes, anything that you use professionally, okay? You're going to throw that into that big household bin. Then at the end of the working week, what we're going to do, we're going to take that household bin and we're going to take it to the reception desk. And this is where we're going to click onto our point of sale button just here on the right hand side of our navigation bar. Okay, now if you remember, we need to assign this to the client #business. So in the top left hand corner of our point of sale screen, what we're going to do is we're going to look for where it says #business. Now, if you've got lots of clients already on display, what we can do is we can continually click the delete button to the center top of our screen until #business appears, okay? This is the all important bit. It must be under #business. So we're going to click onto #business and we're going to click the done button. Then what we're going to do, we're going to simply scan those professional color tubes, the boxes, you know, the nail varnish boxes, nail varnish, anything like that. We're going to scan them out. Now, of course, if you're not using a barcode scanner, no need to worry. We can get around it. There's no problem whatsoever. So, of course, if you are using a barcode scanner, simply scan those products out. Now, if not, what we're going to do is we're going to click on any one of these empty gray sale lines. We're literally just going to click. Okay, we're going to choose Z Business. And you'll get a list of all of your companies, all of your lines, all of your products. So you can see here, we've got my Paul Mitchell, and let's go to my color. You can just simply click on the relevant color products, just like this. So you'll see as I click them, they appear red. And it lets us know down here, we've got product selected 6. So it means I've clicked 6 products. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click the done button. And we would continually work through all of those products in that big household bin. Now, the one thing you will notice, I just want everyone to just take close attention to this. You will notice the price is all set to 0. Now, the reason for this is because no money is exchanging hands. Because, of course, these are all professional products. No money is exchanging hands. That is exactly why we do it under the client #business, okay? Then all we need to do, once we've scanned out all of those professional color tubes, shampoos, everything like that, once we've done that, all we need to do in the bottom right-hand corner is simply click End Sale. Okay, please ignore my little error that pops up about a receipt printer. I try and get rid of that as soon as that does pop up. Now, what this now means is when we click that End Sale button, 2 things are going to happen. The first thing is all of the products we just scanned out or manually searched for, they are going to be deducted from our current stock levels. Because as you can imagine, every time you mix up a color tube, your current stock levels are totally incorrect. And you're probably going to be mixing up those color tubes every hour, every half an hour, that kind of thing. And if that's the case, you're going to be doing a stock take like I did a couple of hours ago. You're going to be doing a stock take every couple of hours, which of course is not very time friendly. So what we're going to do is that tip I just showed you. We're going to scan those products out or manually search for them. And the first thing it will do is it will deduct them from your shortcuts current levels. The second thing it will do is it will print a receipt out for you, just like normal, just like it was a normal sale. And it's going to print that receipt out. Now, what you can do as another top tip, you can use that printout, you can use that receipt to place your next order. Because as you can imagine, all we're doing here is we're simply replenishing the stock we've used over that week. Now, I appreciate it's not a 100% foolproof plan because you may have some weeks where you use different products that you've not used before, but all we're really doing is just replenishing the stock we've used. So as long as your current stock levels were always correct, we're always going to be replenishing it back to that maximum stock level. So another fantastic shortcuts tip there for you. Okay, so that's a great way to sort of get yourself a new order and replenish all of your stock, and of course deduct all of the products that have been used from your shortcuts current levels. Now, we've spoken there all about professional products. We've spoken about color tubes, backwash shampoos, conditioners, everything like that. And we've spoken all about professional products. But what we can also do, let's think of another real life scenario. What about if one of your staff members says to you, Chris, can I take this retail hairspray off of the shelf to use on my client? Okay. Now, once we've taken that hairspray off of the shelf, you can imagine your shortcuts current stock levels are totally incorrect. Okay. Because that product has now been taken off of the shelf. Now, what may happen is it may be a couple of months until you do a stock take again. And by which time you're going to find that that product is now one down. And of course, by that time, you may have forgotten why you're one down and you start to panic. Okay. You think, oh, why are we now one hairspray down? Now, using the exact same theory and technique as what I just showed you, if a staff member says to you, Chris, can I take this hairspray off of the shelf to use on my client? Point of sale, exactly the same as before. Clients, hashtag business, you can scan that retail hairspray out because essentially it is being used as a business product, i.e., that's why we're scanning it under hashtag business. And again, straight away, it will deduct it from your shortcuts current levels. Okay, so another fantastic shortcuts top tip there. Perfect. So as we draw to a close, let's have a look at our two stock reports. So what we're going to do is on the right-hand side, we're going to click onto Tools. And we're going to click onto Reports. Over on the left-hand side, we're going to simply expand stock. And we're going to go down to Professional Stock Usage, which is this one just here. And we can see our report description, a breakdown of professional products sold to the hashtag business client. Okay, that's when we went into point of sale and we chose the client hashtag business. So we're going to click view. We can set ourselves a date range if we need to, but I've only done it for today. So I'm going to leave it for today's date of the 19th of August. And to the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to click the view button. Perfect. And here we go. So we can see the total number of products that have been scanned out. We've got 8 products. Okay. Then underneath, we've got the company, which is Paul Mitchell, and we've got 8 Paul Mitchell products. From those 8 Paul Mitchell products, how many were made up from the line of Color XG? And of course, 8 of those products made up the Color XG. And then underneath, we have those specific products that we scanned out. So we can see all of my color tubes there. Now, of course, if you were also scanning out the retail products that had been used professionally, you would also see those products here because, of course, they were used professionally as well. And it would also give you an average product cost as well as the total product cost for those retail products. Now, the great thing about that is, of course, if they're taking those retail products off of the shelf to use professionally, they can no longer be sold. So essentially, that's almost lost revenue because it can no longer be sold. And the other great thing, if you set yourself a date range of maybe a month and you find you've got 3 retail hairsprays that have all been used professionally, that essentially means you've probably got 3 half-empty products, half-empty hairsprays in your salon floor cupboards, meaning people haven't quite looked thoroughly to see whether there was already an open hairspray. Okay. And of course, you may wish to speak to your rep and see if we can get some samples, but it's a great way to let you know whether we are having product stock wastage as well. Okay. and that is our professional stock usage report. Now, you may wish to, down the bottom of the screen, you may wish to print this out, you may wish to export it, to send it to your accountant, to send it to your director, to send it to your manager, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to click the Done button. Okay, and over on the left-hand side, the last report we're going to look at is Stock Control Report. We're going to click the View button. Now, the Stock Control Report is the only report really to do with stock where you can't set a date range. Because as you can imagine, if we were to sort of set a date range of the 1st of August to the 19th of August, there's going to be so many product changes, product level changes within that date range. So we kind of want to keep it as live and as up to date as possible. So that's why we always keep it for today's date, if you know what I mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply hit the View button. In the top left-hand corner, it will show you your 2 companies or any companies that have products in stock. So you can see I've got my Kerastars, I've got my Paul Mitchell. Then what we have here, we've got the total. So this will give you the total amount of products that is inclusive of Kerastars, Paul Mitchell, the lot. That is everything included. So straight away, we can see we've got 59 products in stock. We can see if we've got any that have a warning message, any that have a maximum. So, you know, when we went through our minimums and our maximums, it will show you any products on order, and it will show you the value on hand of all of your products at face value is £564.77. So straight away, we could export that, print it, send it to our accountant, and it will let them know the value on hand of all of our products. Then underneath, it breaks it down for us. So it then shows us out of our 59 products, how many of those are made up from Kerastars. So you can see we've got 6 Kerastars products. And from our total of £564.77, how much of that is made up via Kerastars? So from our £564.77, 59.70% of that, 70 pence of that is made up from Kerastars. Okay, underneath we've got our liner products, i.e. nutritive, and again the quantity. And underneath we've got the specific product. So we've got the sell price, £18.29. Okay, this is all exclusive of that. You can change it in the miscellaneous parameters at the beginning. Shows you your GP percentage, which is your gross profit percentage. Your PLU, that's a bit like a product code or a barcode. You can also change that as well at the beginning. Shows your primary barcode here, and again the quantity in stock. And it shows your average product cost for that is £9.95. That's typically how much we purchase it in at. And then we can simply work through all of our products just here. Okay, now this again is a fantastic report for your accountant because it will essentially show how much VAT or tax or whatever it may be that you need to pay. Okay, so that is why bringing it all together from our first webinar to our 4th webinar, that is exactly why we need to ensure we have our buy and sell prices in correctly. It's exactly why we need to ensure we have our current stock levels in correctly. And of course, ensuring we're using it professionally and retail combined, then running this report to see exactly how much we have in stock in total. So there we have it, ladies and gents. That has been our entire day of stock. We draw to a close just under the half-an-hour mark there, which gives us around 5 minutes for some questions. It's been a pleasure speaking to everyone. Hopefully everyone now feels a little bit more confident and comfortable moving forward with stock. I would highly recommend you do get started as quick as possible. Do watch the videos back. We do have the 4 videos to watch back. Do take your time with it. But I promise after a little while with a little bit of homework with it, it will make your life so much easier and of course save you time and money. So what is left for me to say, thank you ever so much for joining me. Again, my name was Chris. Thank you ever so much for joining me. If you do have any questions this afternoon, please feel free to drop those across to me now. Lovely. Okay, so I think that's it for all of the questions this afternoon. Thank you ever so much for joining me again. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully I'll be able to speak to everyone again next week. Do stay in touch, but for now, stay safe and I'll speak to you all again soon. Thank you ever so much. Take care. Bye-bye for now.